Observing Myself as a Critical Reader by Dominic Lafalita. Before taking this class, I always just skimmed over the story and didn't really care about it. I tried that in the beginning of this class and didn't work out for me, so I had to change my attitude towards reading. This class has opened my mind about reading in general. It has helped me fully understand what I'm reading because now whenever I read something, I always annotate it so when I need important information, I can just go back into the text and look for what I wrote down. My understanding of reader response theory. Throughout the course, I applied reader response to many short stories, my free reading, and poems. The story that I felt I responded to the best was Hills Like White Elephants. I began to think deeper about the story and what it was truly about and what the hidden messages were. I read Hills Like White Elephants last year in my freshman seminar class, and I didn't really get the whole point of the story. This year, when I read it for a second time and did my reader response and actually analyzed the whole story, I felt that I understood what the true meaning of the story was because I had to go back into the text to fully understand what the author was trying to say. I did this by rereading the story a few times. Reading strategies. Reading strategies that I applied to this class are rereading and asking questions. Before this class, every story that I read, I only read it one time. But because we had to fully understand the story and apply it to our reader response, I was basically forced to reread every story. This actually worked out to my benefit because after rereading the story, I picked up on things that I didn't reading it the first time. And I applied this to my reader response because I fully understood the story. Rereading the story made me ask questions about the story. This helped me think deeper about it. Digital tools. A digital tool that I found very helpful this semester is blogging. Before taking this class, I never blogged about anything before in my life. And I never really enjoyed reading at all, because I just read a book as fast as I could and read the spark notes on it. Reading a novel that I found interesting in my free reading made it easier and enjoyable to write blogs and what I think about. It has opened my mind more about reading and documenting my thoughts on the story. It has also helped me understand the story more because I can look back on what I wrote to help me for future blogs. Connections. Last year, as I said before, I took a freshman seminar class that was kind of like this class, but for that class, we only read the story and didn't really talk about it. I didn't really enjoy that class because we never went into much detail about the story, just the basics. However, we did the opposite in this class, and I enjoyed this better because this class opened my mind about reading. So now whenever I read something, I tend to read it over again to understand it better. Challenges. At the beginning of this class, I had trouble with the reader response and really what it was all about. As I did my reader response at the beginning of the year, they weren't good at all because I just kept summarizing the story, and that's not what it's all about. As I learned that it's more about finding rhetorical devices and how I understood them and how they applied in the story. Most memorable experience. My most memorable experience is when the Vietnam veteran came in and shared his experience with us. I thought it was really cool to hear what he experienced because I never heard a war vet talk about their experience before. It also helped me better understand the story, things they carried, because his experience related to the story in some aspects, and I was able to make connections with his experience to help me ask questions about things they carried, and this made it easier to do my reader response. My aha moment. My aha moment was when I was reading Hills Like White Elephants. After reading the story, I didn't know what it was all about. I was really confused on what the whole aspect of the story was. I thought it was just about hills and, I don't know, elephants. So I went back and read it and to try and find hidden messages and clues that might relate to what the story truly meant. After I read this line, it is really an awful simple. It's really an awfully simple operation, Jig, the man said. After reading this, I finally realized that the story was about whether to have an abortion or to keep the child. This sounds like a simple aha moment, but it was really the only thing I could think about that really made me go aha. And this is my works cited page